Welcome back. My name is Candice Sanderson. I am author of The Reluctant Messenger and The Reluctant Messenger Returns. I have a question. How do you feel right now? Are you feeling great about life or are you filled with doubt? In this episode, I share an experience and I tell how it transformed from gloom to glee. So stay tuned. It all started with the birthday party this past weekend for my granddaughter, Lorelei, who just turned 9 years old. Her birthday celebration was scheduled for the beach, but within minutes of setting up the tables and the umbrellas, we had a huge storm. There was lightning, torrential rain, booming thunder, and whipping winds, and it just blew away all of Lorelei's hopes. You know, I've lived in Southwest Florida for over 25 years, and I've become familiar with these no-name storms that whip up seemingly out of nowhere. We quickly moved all the party paraphernalia to an area next to the building. It has a roof and a couple walls, so it provided a little bit of shelter. The guests, if there would be any, would start to arrive soon, so Lorelei and I stood just inside the open garage door. We were prepared to flag down the guests and show them the party's new location. With tears just streaming down her face and between these loud sobs, Lorelei asked me to intervene on her behalf. She said, "Nana, you talk to angels. Can't you tell them to make this rain stop?" Well, we really need the rain. Our weather has been extremely dry. There's been a lot of brush fires. So it's not that we didn't need the rain, but the timing was off, certainly for her. I fully understood Lorelei's pain and her heartfelt request. So I closed my eyes, I opened my heart, and I asked for the angels to make this party work for Lorelei's sake. Within minutes, the first guest drove through the open garage door, but they were entering a garage that was flooding more and more by each minute. There was so much water that the drains on the garage floor had reversed. The drains were no longer draining the water was flooding the floors from the drains. But one small miracle happened as that first car drove through the garage. Lorelei stopped crying. I'm sure it's because she was embarrassed and she didn't want them to see her cry. I thought, okay with me. We have enough flooding around. Anything that would make her stop crying was so welcomed. So I silently gave thanks. I thought, maybe it will be a party with just one guest, but that's better than none, I thought. Within a couple minutes, another car arrived and I breathed a sigh of relief. When the third car arrived, I relinquished Lorelei of her door watching duties so that she could join the party, and I stood guard alone. As I looked from my sheltered position just inside the garage door, I could see the streets and I realized they were flooded, and each car that passed plowed through the ponding rain on the street, causing a wake. But still, the guests came. It took almost 45 minutes for everyone to arrive, but they did. So my door watching duties ended and I joined the party. The sun peeked through the clouds now and then, and the strong winds and the torrential downpour had stopped. And I thought, this is a win-win situation. We received the rain that we need, yet the adults had a roof over their heads. Didn't matter to the kids. They were out playing in the water in the rain. But this wide assortment of food and drinks that we had, they were safe from these now just intermittent sprinkles. The kids were having a blast. They were running along the gentle surf of the Gulf of Mexico under the watchful eyes of several parents, right there on the beach, while the rest of us munched on chicken nuggets, sandwiches, chips, and veggies. So what had started as a disaster for Lorelei's 9th birthday party turned into a great success and quite a memorable one. I realized that this was one of those teachable moments in how to deal with change. We can learn to go with the flow and end up on the winning side of what could have been interpreted as a loss. So let's unpack this experience. Why and how did this go from a disaster to a success? Was it my call to the angels? Maybe. Or was it simply accepting what things were and being flexible, like moving the party to a semi sheltered structure? Maybe. It's all about keeping a positive attitude and asking for help when you need it, whether it's help from our angels and guides or people helping to accommodate last minute changes. Life is all about change and learning how to adjust this ever moving target. Lorelei exchanged her tears for laughter as this disaster morphed into what will become a most memorable birthday party. I realized what a valuable experience this was. I recently shared the story from the Cherokee Nation of the two wolves that reside within each person. One wolf is evil, the other represents goodness. The story says that the wolf that will survive is the one that you feed. That's so true. But the story goes on to say that there is a way for us to feed both wolves. And in doing that, we don't have to starve one of them, but instead we seek balance. And that truly becomes a win-win situation. When you fear something, you end up with a vibrational match to what it is that you fear. You feed it. Learning to put your attention on a solution and not the problem can be so helpful. When you make potentially frightening or negative experiences, when you make those a non-issue, you reverse course. You no longer swim in the energies of what you don't want. Instead, you become the change. You embrace a new path. Our true nature is energy. It's not this physical body. This is only the vehicle that our spirit or energy inhabits. Once I began viewing the world through the lens of energy, I gained a greater perspective. This new viewpoint has led to more positive outcomes than I had ever considered possible. It's empowering because I came to realize just what formidable beings we are. I sometimes think of us as these tiny magnets that scurry around like ants. We go here, we go there. We're oblivious to the wake that we create behind us. And as our surrounding energy fields bump into other energy bubbles, we connect with them. It's just what happens. It's the magnetic nature of our energy. When we understand this, we begin to operate differently. When we truly understand the magnetic qualities of our energy field, we know who and what we associate with will be attracted to us. Unless we make a concerted effort to change our vibrational frequencies, we'll continue to scurry around like those ants, going here, going there, oblivious. Now, enter knowledge, enter wisdom, enter purpose. By substituting random behaviors for mindful, purpose-driven acts, we begin to clean up our energy fields. We set up different frequencies. By releasing the fear that her 9th birthday party was ruined, Lorelei stepped out of those vibrations of sadness and anger, which led the way for the energy of happiness and appreciation to enter. And how did that happen? It started with a request when she asked me to have the angels intervene. That request was an intention for things to change. Quite often, this is the first step in change. So ask your angels, ask your guides, ask someone whom you feel is connected to intervene on your behalf if you've not yet embraced your birthright, your empowerment. The intention behind that request is the impetus for change. It's that tiny push that can knock you off balance just enough to find a new footing on your path of life. It's that first step into a new space for you. It's one step in the right direction, followed by another and another. Before you know it, you've traveled away from the pity path you were on. You no longer fear those negative outcomes, but you've embraced a new possibility. There may still be rain showers. After all, that's great for Earth, but the storm has passed. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, remember, be kind. Bringing in the energy of kindness will help bring more goodness and goodwill to your life. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much. Until next time,